Poppin', man, back with another interview. This time with the legend, man, himself, Coach E. Coach E, what's going on, man?
What's up? Oh, I didn't know we was on camera. I had my glasses on and my nerd vision.
Yo, hey, Coach E, can you tell us about your upbringing and where you grew up at?
Well, I'm a Vallejo kid, as they say. I grew up in Vallejo. I mean, we moved out of here from Louisiana when I was 3, and I've been in Vallejo ever since, for the most part. Yeah. Grew up predominantly. I mean, I think when we landed, we was in South Vallejo for, maybe like a year. Then the rest of that, I was in North Vallejo.
What inspired you to first, like, just start a business?
Man, I've been an entrepreneur uh, since I was a baby down there. I remember when I used to go to Dan Mini, they used to have 45-15 school where you go to school 45 days and you be off 15. And it used to be a store in Rancho called Sprouts Ritz. And they used to sell like the Jolly Rancher sticks. I don't know, that might be a little bit before your
I think I
time.
remember. They was like, yeah,
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 this is
yeah,
like a little Jolly
little
Rancher
stick.
sticks. You used to make all day suckers and all kinds of little stuff with the square sucker. Then you just get hella Jolly Rancher sticks and you just put them over the stove and melt them. But we used to eat them too. But I used to buy them for 10 cent, and then like when we was on break, I used to go to Dan Mini on recess, sell them for 20 cent, get on my bike, go to Elsa Wiedemann on recess, and just just rotate, back and forth. So that was probably like my first like real hustle. And I know I was at Dan Mini at all the way up to the fourth grade, so I couldn't have been no more than the fourth grade when I was doing that.
Mm.
And then because I know I went to Elsa Wiedemann after the fourth grade for the fifth grade. Yep, and then I think even there, I think I was still selling sticks and pencils. People used to do pencil fighting all the time, so you sell the pencils and the sticks. But yeah, I guess it's just always kind of been in me from there. And then the the late '80s and the '90s hit, so there was another different type of entrepreneurship going on around that time. So it's just been in me. So I done did a whole bunch of different stuff. I would say not all of it was successful, and and even this is still in a growth phase. It's cool, but you know, I think I just always been by heart an entrepreneur for the most part.
So you always just had that entrepreneur spirit, that go
Yeah,
getter mindset, like,
yeah.
yeah.
I lightweight forget some of the stuff that I be doing or done did in the past sometimes. So
Why mattresses? Of all things
fluke.
you could have started, all things you could have sold. Why mattresses?
Just a fluke, just opportunity. I think most everything I ever done just kind of came off opportunity. Actually, it was me and Brody G was selling cars, and my OG Clarence, he had like a family member. Kind of can't even remember cat name, but he had came through and he was trying to like learn like the car selling business or whatever. And I think he worked at a plant that they was closing down. They was gonna lay everybody off. But
Mm.
anyway, he came up there on some hype saying that this Mexican he stole a truckload of mattresses. He had them in his backyard, and I was like, man, let's see what's up. And but come to find out, I met, which has been one of my main suppliers for over 10 years. That's when I met Jose. And Jose was on the straight and up and up. He had a factory where he manufactured mattresses, and he bought factory seconds, which was like name brand mattresses that might have like little cosmetic flaws.
Mhm.
And I think I went out there. I think Lando had wanted a mattress. My nephew Shaman had wanted a mattress. My cousin had wanted a mattress. So I just went out there and just grabbed some stuff for them because I don't even think I bought one that first time. So just to run the play, I think I bought a few mattresses from them, and then I took some orders. And then me and my son at the time, on Saturdays we'll meet up with Jose. We'll grab the mattresses, then we'll go drop them off. And then I started just kind of like trying to take orders, but just be with niggas impatient. So you know
Yeah.
what I mean? So I was missing out on, sales. So I just like, man, let me get, one of each size, and one of each size turned to two of each size. And then I just started just stockpiling mattresses, from there to where like I had it online because people wanted different comforts, they wanted different styles, they wanted different sizes. So we're like, you didn't want to miss the play. So I just started like, buying more and more and more. And then next thing you know, I was the mattress guy for the most part.
Yeah.
That's kind of like how it started. Like I ain't like do no research, think about it, say, hey, I want to, what mattress is a good thing, which it is.
Hmm.
I mean, if the research would have came to me, I probably would have like, oh, that's something I might get into. But just like with everything that I done ever did, for the most part, just kind of happened on the fluke.
So basically, dude pulled up, like you said, he got a backyard full
Yeah,
of.
just I don't even know why I can't remember his name, but it was one of Clarence' younger relatives, or his godson or nephew or something. But he was there, like I said, trying to figure out what he was going to do next, and I don't know why he told it like that. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I don't know why he put it on. I mean, but I guess people more inclined to buy something hot than not. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
So
most definitely.
yeah. So I mean, that probably would attract me if he'd have told me like somebody just got some mattresses for sale. I probably wouldn't have been interested. But the fact that it probably was going to be a deal, and so that's kind of like how it started for sure.
At what point did you know it was time to expand the business from just mattresses to now home furniture?
Oh, to home furniture, and I really don't. I honestly can't tell you. Like I had tunnel vision for so long to where what I mean? I'm really grateful. I really appreciate all the people that buy mattresses from me because for the most part, I just wait for my phone to ring because the word of mouth business is good. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's like it's really sustainable for me. Like it's helped me be able to take care of me and my family for years. You know what I mean? So, but a lot of times, most of the time, people have asked, if I had other furniture, people have asked, like if I had a couch, I got a dining room set, bedroom set, and it's just like, nah, I just got the mattress, and I was like content with that.
yeah.
That was tunnel vision. But like I said, like 90% of the time I show up, they either have furniture, they just bought furniture, or they finna buy furniture, and I just was not, taking advantage of that opportunity. I think once I closed the store, though, I think maybe what kind of brought it from the head, like post COVID, so COVID, like maybe like 2022 is when I finally decided to close the thrift stores that I had. That were kind of more like discount stores. So once I closed those, and then I kind of fell back to my roots, which was the mattresses. Um, I started buying, other liquidation stuff, mainly furniture. So I bought a bunch of bed frames, and I started selling those. And then I just like, I'm gonna do mattresses, and then I noticed more because I guess my attention was a little more focused on the mattresses,
Mhm.
and I just noticed I just was leaving money on the table. It was just an easy for me. It's just an easy play to where like I don't really have to do much more but to source the furniture, and that's what I've taken the time the last maybe like 4 months of trying to like educate myself and make the connections and figure out how to source furniture predominantly to kind of support and to supplement the mattresses. So that's what I've been spending the time up to now doing, is doing that.
So far, how have the transition been uh, from going from mattresses to now having couches, tables, and the
Yeah.
full home furniture?
um it's still the beginning. I mean, the transition for me is really kind of like it's still the beginning
Mhm.
because you know, I knew what I wanted to do once I decided. I knew how I wanted to do it. So then I just had to kind of fill in the research and the work, So I didn't want to have like a big, 10,000, 20,000 square feet of a showroom floor just because, just paying attention to the economy and the world. You know what I mean? Like that's just old business. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? New business is online, new business is social media, new business is, pick up, delivery. People are not really going out to brick and mortar stores. And that's been trending for years, especially post COVID. You know what I mean? COVID has kind of really conditioned people to be able to buy from home, get on their phone and just kind of scroll and click.
Yeah.
So, I know I didn't want to do that. I've experienced the overhead from having two stores and a warehouse and, employees. So I experienced that overhead and I know that that can gobble you up. So I didn't want to do that. I was doing great with just doing mattresses by appointment. So I kind of wanted to, segue that whole concept over to furniture. But there's, selection is great for furniture and people's taste is different to
Yeah.
where like to carry all of that inventory, like, going back to the story, the first question is like, if people want a queen size, they want a full size, they want a king, cow king, like you gotta have all of that. And that's
Yeah.
why I carry so many mattresses, then firm, soft, what I mean,
Yeah.
plush, pillow top. So, I've been able to afford to do that. But like if I to expand the space, what I mean? The to be able to have the space and then to support all of that inventory, the capital it would take, it would just be too much. And again, you would do all of that and ain't nobody people not coming to the store like that. So I wanted to build this like online showroom or virtual showroom. Like that's my real concept is, and the virtual going to be, whether it's my website, whether it's social media, whether it's I'm going to, in both of the warehouse, I'm going to build little virtual rooms where people can view a vast amount of inventory in every category of furniture and be able to, because most furniture stores you go in, you might see a piece and they still got to order it anyway. Right. So that's the plan is to kind of do that by order. So I kicked the can around in my head for a while to try to figure out how to do that. I mean, trying to, did research, ChatGPT, Google, asking people that are in that field as far as developers and coders. And it seemed like it was going to cost a lot of money. So I went to a furniture show in Long Beach and I joined this America Furniture Association. I joined the Furniture Association and they had different resources, and then one of the resources was different kind of whether it was credit card processing machines or stuff.
Mhm.
So actually it was a lady, I was telling her the idea that I was kind of working with, partnering with, because she had a couple of furniture accounts, and I was started sending my customers to her. But she had told me that she had met someone at one of the furniture shows, and they had a company, and that's what they did. They built a website and connected the manufacturer's inventory, and it kind of flowed to your website to where you can display it and your customers can see it. You can set your margins and your pricing. So, what I was trying to reinvent, it was already there. So then I went back to the Furniture Association and I asked them, told them about the company that she told me about. And then they said, well, there's a whole bunch of companies that did that. And then they gave me like a short list of recommendations to most people that were in the association, who they use. So I vetted those companies.
Yeah.
And after vetting those, I wind up with the same company that the lady Maria had hooked me up with initially, which is Dover Media. And I'm working with them now. We're almost complete as far as, well, they gave me a short list of manufacturers that have the technology that are easily integrated with the platforms that they build and that would be best to work with. They said you don't want to have, 15 different manufacturers on your site. First of all, it's going to be slow your site down. You have, a whole bunch of inventory that, it's going to just be too cumbersome.
Yeah.
And some of them, they don't update the inventory, fast enough, and they don't have like the technology. Sometimes they would have to manually enter in all the catalog of
Mm.
inventory, which most of the sites that they recommended, most of the manufacturers that they recommended, they have it to where it's kind of digitally done.
Integrated. Yeah.
So I took that list, and then that's when I started approaching those, specifically trying to approach those furniture companies, which some of those wind up being some of the biggest and the best selections of inventory anyway. So that's kind of like workout, but they gave me like some structure to where I
Right.
can go out there and hunt. So I got set up with all of those furniture companies over the last couple of months. Gave over that information. Then now we're building our website. But even now, I'll tell my customers to just send me a screenshot, send me a link of something that they're looking for and pricing. And I did a couple of sales like that already. And then I'll just order it through the manufacturer and then just deliver it to them.
If a person say they came to you, they really wanted this piece of furniture or this mattress or whatever, they didn't have the full total amount to pay for it right then and there that day. Do you guys offer like some type of financing programs?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So what I have set up, and it was again just going out there, and that's part of business too. You just got to go out there and figure things out, do the research, network. So in the networking, I had used financing before, but through the association I was in, they had this. They told me about these, this waterfall system, right? So
Mm,
what we use a company called Synchrony. So Synchrony is probably like the, higher, better credit customer. But so, and they do run your credit. So
mhm,
Synchrony, they run your credit, how you submit all your information, in the application, and then they'll let you know what you approve for.
mhm,
Now, if they don't approve you, the good part is the waterfall system automatically, you don't have to fill out a new application.
mm,
You don't have to submit new documentation, or they just automatically say, we don't feel like we would off extend any line of credit to you, but we're going to send you down to Fortiva
mhm,
is another company that I use. So they automatically submit your application to
mm,
Fortiva. Then they'll send me or they'll send you, additional information if they need it, or they'll just say, hey, you know what, we'll approve you for this amount.
mm,
And then if Fortiva says, not really. So then they drop you down to Acima, which is more of like a lease to own company.
mhm,
They don't necessarily even need a credit. They don't run your credit, so it's for two categories of people: people that feel as though that their credit is not strong enough to get approved,
mhm,
or people that just don't want the inquiry. Some people might just be buying a new house and they're in escrow, and as they're doing the underwriting process, they don't want anything, but they say, I want to get this furniture so when I
mhm,
move in. So Acima, they don't run credit at all. It is a lease to own. So, if you pay it the whole extent of the lease, you're going to pay a lot more than the furniture itself. But they offer you like, an 80-day period to pay it off without paying any additional fees.
mm,
So we promote Acima as is by itself. And then we promote, and we haven't done much promotion of Synchrony because Acima is a lot easier. So we, on social media after every post, especially if it's furniture, for the most part, you'll see us post. You can just text a number, and then they'll send you an application.
mm.
And that's pretty simple. I just had someone Thursday. I sent them the link. Then like 5 minutes later, say, hey, I got approved for $1,400, and I said, okay, well, I'll go ahead and order the stuff that you want.
How do you make sure the quality of your new products matches the standard uh, that your customer expect?
Well, so like I said, I usually have the customer like because they already, for the most part, I just haven't been selling furniture. But my customer, they've been buying
Yeah.
furniture. So really I just tell them to find what they like, find
Okay.
what they want, and then just send that to me. It's the same, whether they find it at if they find it at Ashley's Furniture, like their retail location, or if they find it at another store, furniture store that sells Ashley products or Coaster products, um, it's the same stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's no different than any other furniture store that they walk into. I got the same manufacturers that they use.
Yeah.
So if they see it there and they like the quality, and that's what they're accustomed to, I can just order them the same stuff.
What separates Coach E Essentials from other brands?
Again, what I'm trying to do is more what's in tune with the world, and a lot of other furniture stores have not like adapted to that. Some have, and I'm just taking it another step because most furniture stores that have adapted to that, um, they're still having a showroom. They're still having a major brick and mortar location. For me, it's more about just the infrastructure. So I have the two warehouses, but that's just mainly about receiving and delivering,
Hmm.
products. And then maybe we'll have. Um, but then another thing for me is, I come from liquidation, right? So I did the mattresses. I opened the thrift stores, and I basically bought liquidation merchandise from retailers. So I buy truckloads of Target, Kohl's, Groupon, Costco, Walmart. So I've bought like trucks of bikes, trucks of couches and love seats. I bought trucks of just miscellaneous inventory from Target. I used to do a lot of truckloads of Target. So but sporadically I was getting furniture in some of those loads. Every once in a while I bought maybe a couple of Wayfair just pure furniture loads. So I'll still do liquidation. So
Hmm.
I'll still be able to source overstock, out of season, shelf pulls that, or manufacturer runs that they say, hey, they want to bring in a new line, that old line, just because production is key as far as manufacturer, they want to like create new stuff.
Mhm.
So sometimes they need the room in the warehouse. So I've bought that type of stuff in the past. I'll continue to buy that type of stuff, and I'll be able to pass that discount on to my customers. But in addition to that, I'm also going to be able to, through the manufacturers, just have a reliable source to a vast amount of inventory to where they can get that specific piece that they're looking for. And, so those two things I think is going to set me apart from other furniture stores. One, that I still will offer liquidation discount inventory. Two is that, we're gonna do mainly by order as far as pieces. And then three, I'm not gonna, have a conventional showroom. I'm gonna have like just small places like this to where if a customer does want to come home, whether it's just they don't have the technology at home or they just want a little consulting, as they, navigate through finding and ordering their pieces, we'll have like small showrooms for them to do that at. But other than that, we're not going to spend the money on large showrooms. We're not going to spend the money investing in, hundreds of thousands, tens of thousands of dollars of furniture to just sit on the floor.
Mhm.
Um, and sometimes that takes borrowing, and you got to pay interest. So those expenses are always passed on to the customer.
Mhm.
I mean, whether you know it or not, the light bill, labor
Absolutely.
costs, overhead, that's always going to be passed on in the cost to the customer. So I'm giving that back to the customer. I'm giving that savings back to the customer by the way that I'm doing it, to where, my prices should be less. I mean, for
Mhm.
most of the pieces that my customers want, they should pay less coming to me because I'm saving them from that overhead. And I think the biggest thing that we're gonna do, and we're already started, is offering opportunities to customers to be ambassadors or influencers for the brand, to where our showroom, where I'm trying to do, or what I'm going to do, is I'm going to build our showroom with our customers, to where like it'll be on your feed, it'll be on your social media, to where like your whole process of you buying a piece, we're hoping to capture that.
Mhm.
And as you put the pieces in your home, we hope that you would help us capture that and display it to your friends and family and your followers, to where instead of us having, $30,000, 30,000 square feet of showroom floor, we just want to have it all across, all the different social medias
Social media.
from our customers and from our partners that we're going to be using. And that's how we're going to display the inventory that's available, which is still available on our website too.
From like real experiences, real customers,
Yeah.
real, yeah. That's dope.
It's crazy that you say that, because that that is, I'm gonna find it for you just to share with you as we go through this. That is our about. You just quoted without even ever reading this.
Mhm.
I ain't never shared this with him or not. So without ever reading that, that's what is in our about you page section of our
Yeah.
website. They just asked me, okay, we need you to send us about you, about us sections for, our website's got
Yeah.
got that about us section. And that's almost verbatim, kind of what I came up with.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna show it to you as we get into this a little bit more.
Where do you see Coach E Essentials Furniture in the next 5 to 7 years?
You know what? That's unimaginable. Like, I've been learning that, what I mean, I've been pleasantly surprised about so many things where
Mhm.
like I can try, but it's my imagination. Even from where it is right now, I don't have enough experience, or not, because the world is changing so fast too, to where
Mhm.
like it's unimaginable, to where I don't know. I'm hoping that it's so unimaginable to where, what I mean, it's endless. What I mean, I believe that
Mhm.
it's really, and especially the way that I'm doing it, to where it's like, I mean, I could sell, 1,000 pieces today. You know, as opposed, in the way that I'm doing it, I could easily sell 1,000 pieces today without doing anything different than what I'm doing, right? As opposed to in the old conventional furniture store methods, it would take me, maybe to buy, what I mean, 500,000 pieces to be able to sell 1,000
Yeah.
pieces a day. You know what I mean? This way, it's unimaginable because, as things spread, I mean, organically with word of mouth and organically with social media, and you couple in their ads and then drop shipping, which is something that will happen down the line to where I can maybe reach customers outside of my local demographic. Yeah, like it's unimaginable, it's endless.
So, if you could design a dream couch or bedroom set, what would it look like?
It would look exactly how the customer that's gonna buy it would look.
Design it.
It would it like I have no creative input. I have no like specifications or like design or style. Like my opinion wouldn't matter at
Yeah.
all. So it's funny that you say that. So one of my good customers, Shanika from here in Fairfield, she came to me. She's bought a bunch of mattresses. She's bought her family to buy mattresses. I mean, that's kind of like been the MO of this business. It's
Mhm.
like people buy it and they bring their family, they bring their friends, and that's been, like I said, it's been financially sustainable for me. But she bought her cousin to buy a mattress, and we were at the other warehouse and trying the mattress. She's like, "Man, come over here and try it. Like he probably not gonna sell it to you unless you come and try it." So she brought him over. He tried the mattress. I was like, "Hey, you know what? I got furniture too," and she's like, "Hey, Coachy, I'm gonna send you some pictures. I was just looking at this sectional that I wanted."
Mhm.
But the thing about it, she wanted something that, didn't sit low. You know what I mean? She wanted the seats to sit
Mhm.
high. She wanted the cushions, because like even sitting on these, she said she wanted the cushions to be, kind of wide so you
Mhm.
could sit back in it. She wanted the couch to be high, and then she wanted this, the material that she had seen. And so what we did with her is we got her a custom made sofa. So I work with one company that they do custom special order. That's all they do.
Mhm.
Sofas, sectionals. They don't have an inventory or a warehouse full of couches and sectionals. You have to give them the specifications, and then they'll make you, what you want.
Mhm.
So there was a piece that was at, I think it was Ashley's Furniture, or the furniture store carried an Ashley's Furniture couch. So she wanted something like that, but we got her a custom one that kind of had some of those features as far as the fabric, and then some of the other features that she wanted. So the answer to the question is, my perfect couch is the perfect couch for the customer and whatever they want.
What advice would you give someone uh, looking to start a business, any business?
Hmm. Is it, do they already know the business, or they just
Nah,
trying to
they
get
just
into
trying
the?
to get in the business.
Oh, I get that all the time. So I would say just look in your peer group, your friends and family, the people that you hang out with, like for the most part, and see what you guys are spending money on. Like, see what you guys are consuming, like whatever it is that's in. And it's not just because you want to feed off of your peers or your friends or your family. Like, it's not really about that. It's about, you have an aptitude, you have an understanding, you know that product, you know that market, you know that category of goods, to where like you don't have to go around the learning curve trying to figure out
Mhm.
how to, like, what's a good product, to where like, say if you bike, if you cycle or whatever it is, like, and I say, if you want to start a business, you might want to do something that involves, you want to start with something that involves that, right?
Mhm.
Because you buy bikes, you buy accessories, you buy, gear. So you know what's quality gear,
Yeah.
what, what I mean, what's needed when you're out there cycling or whatever it is you're doing. You kind of know that market already, so it's easier for you not to make some of those mistakes that people make trying to learn and get around the learning curve. Because some people just say, "Hey, that's a good business. I'm gonna try to go do that," and that you can. But I would say, what I mean, eat, uh, do what you already doing,
Mhm.
as a hobby or as a lifestyle
Yeah.
already, and then from there you might find. But I mean, at the end of the day, and you might find success because you kind of know the industry a little bit, but at the end of the day, it's just about putting in the work. Like, ain't nothing, you ain't gonna get nothing out of it. Like, it ain't no like luck. It ain't no, it's like, even people that it seem as they've been lucky, they put in endless amount of work
Mhm.
before that good thing happened.
Yeah.
So if you're not gonna bear no fruit if you don't put in the work. And that's the part that people think it. I mean, there's some glory times, you know what I mean, some glamorous parts of it to where like if you're working for yourself, but then you work a lot of hours, you spend a lot of money on stuff that doesn't yield a return. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? And until you put in that work, you're not gonna see a return on investment until you put in like that underlying, setup time and put in work.
If someone that's watching this video um, wanted to buy some furniture or mattresses or anything from you, how would they go about that?
So we have social media. Like I said, I have a website right now. That's coachesessentials.com. That website is now pointed to what I use now. It's kind of like was an inventory app, but they created this landing page where you could take 4 pictures of everything that's in inventory. And so that app kind of created a website. Unbeknownst to me, it created a website
Mhm.
in addition to helping me keep track of the inventory. So right now, everything that I have in stock that's in the warehouse, like mattresses, comforters, whatever it is, it's on that website. But I think, for people, and like I said, I'm trying to build a showroom on social
So,
platforms, right? So I would say go to Coaches Essentials on Instagram, go to Coaches Essentials on Facebook, because there's gonna always be incentives for people that are part of that community.
mhm,
So if I sell something, say if I sell something for $40, I'll just give you an example. So I got comforters range from 20 to 40 to some that I haven't posted or maybe, $70. But we ran a promotion on social media for, I don't know, maybe like a month almost, to where as long as you followed us, you liked, you shared, you commented, we'll let you get a comforter for $10.
mhm,
So, and that's because, I hadn't had comforters for a while, and I just want to kind of get that word out there. To where the best way to engage me, um, and I encourage people is to, get on the socials, and then from there, you can message, you can comment. There'll be information that come across your feed, and then you'll get instructions on how to buy furniture. And then if you already know me, you already got my phone number,
mhm,
just text me, because that's 90% of my business right now is still just through my cell phone. And then if it's outside of mattresses or stuff that I carry in stock in inventory right now, just go and find it and then send me preferably the link, and that way I can get all of the details, like the color, the size, the specs,
mhm.
and for me, the company. You know what I mean? Because usually it's there's cues in there that I'll know that what manufacturer carries this, and
Mhm.
then I can use name, I can use product number, and I can search that, and then figure out what manufacturer carries that. 9 times out of 10, I have an account with that manufacturer, and I can order it and then bring the savings to you, because I'm definitely gonna, my markup is ridiculously lower than most furniture stores. To where, if you send me the link, I'll find the exact same piece or something very similar. You know what I mean? If it's out of stock at that manufacturer, and then I'll see the price, I'll order it, and you know, then I'll get it to you.
You want to plug your social medias or anything?
Yeah,
Instagram,
yeah.
Facebook.
All of them is Coaches Essentials. And that's even that is part of how I've been trying to do things, because most people that know me, they know that for about 5 years, I had Cochise thrift store.
Mhm,
There's one in Vallejo, one in Sassoon, and you know, post COVID, that didn't make any sense anymore, so we kind of closed down the stores. But I let the but so all the while the Cochise thrift store was open, all of the customers, family, friends, they were like, "You need to change the name because this is not a thrift store." You know what I mean?
mhm,
Like all this stuff is brand new. It's like you don't have like used stuff in here, because I pretty much did liquidation, so I
mhm.
got stuff from retailers. So I listened to that, but I was just kind of like, the name is a name. It's like too much marketing stuff that I'm gonna have to
Yeah,
change
change.
signs and all that, to where like, hey, what I mean, we're just like the slogan was, we're not your ordinary thrift store. So we just
Mhm,
kind of went with that. But so when we closed, and I knew that I would reopen someday in some capacity, which this is what it is now. I let let the customers. We did a social media campaign. We let customers just throw names out there. I think I picked 3 or 4 of that. They kind of kept coming up where
Mhm.
people commented on something that somebody posts. Then I did a poll on those 3 names, and yeah, I think it was 3 names, and then people voted, and then that's how we got Coach's Essentials. I didn't come up with the name. This is y'all's name of the
Mhm.
store.
Yeah.
Like, and that's and I am just now like, reflecting on that now. And it's like, that's the vision that I want. I want this to be like a community for
Community.
us
Yeah.
to where like you can come and shop and share and post and, create opportunities for you to get the same furniture from another furniture store because you're part of the community and you help pushing your piece out
Mm.
to share with your friends and your family and your followers to where they'll get a savings and we all kind of get to retain some of our income. That's what I'm trying to build, and I'm also I just haven't figured out how to track it. So the tracking piece is the difficult piece.
Mm.
Is I'm going to try to create opportunities for people to say, hey, you know what? What I mean, I have a lot of followers. What I mean, I have a big friend group to where and I could use a couple of extra dollars,
Mhm.
right? To where they can promote, Coach E's Essentials brand. They can promote the furniture, mattresses, whatever it is, and then they can get a share of the revenue. Like
Mm.
that's going to be a part of it. Not only are you just going to be able to shop and save because you help us socialize and build this community, but I wanted to also create opportunities for people to make money.
Mm.
To put it simply, I'm trying to create this community of furniture buyers, furniture sellers that, so I just get on, follow us on the social media. There's a Coach's Essentials on Facebook, there's a Coach's Essentials on Instagram. And then as we develop other platforms like what's in the makes is Pinterest and TikTok. But if you're already there, on Facebook and Instagram, then, of course, when we launch, we'll, let everyone that's in that community know. But that's for me, that's the biggest thing. It's about, you know, passing on savings. And honestly, to be fair, as a capitalist, I'm a capitalist, like right. And I like money just like anybody else, right?
Mm.
But I know that it's to build a brand. It's you're not. I ain't trying to make money like right
Yeah.
now. I ain't trying to make money off of every sale right
Mhm.
now. I want to be sustainable, but at the same time, my main focus right now is to build this community of
Mm.
people that can benefit off of what I'm doing and what we are doing collectively
Mm.
is. So that's the main thing. Just try to like get on social, post, take advantage of whatever opportunities that we got on for social. I could tell you, right now, a lot of people are, familiar with the super box, which we usually sell it for 250. And I know football season is coming, and that's one of the main selling points for the super box because you get all of the football games. So we've been doing a promotion that you comment your favorite team, favorite football player on social media, whether it's Instagram or Facebook is what we're using. You like the post, you share the post on your social media, whether it's Facebook or Instagram, and we give it to you for 199.
Mm.
Like I mean, and it's like it ain't. You can get as many as you want. Many
Yeah.
times you want to do that, as many times you can get it until it's
Yeah.
over. What I mean? I'm probably going to end it. Once the season starts on
Mhm.
Thursday. Not this Thursday, but next Thursday. I'll probably end it then. But until then, that's what. But there's always like every week I sit down and I come up with something to run for the week, and sometimes I'll just run the same one back. But just get on the socials. That's what I would say. Coaches Essentials on Instagram, Coaches Essentials on Facebook, coachesessentials.com. Like just get on wherever you can find us at. Just get on there and then wait for the opportunity.
Yeah.
And then if you got an idea of something that you think we should do or you want done, let us know that too. But that's the best place to do it.
Quick choice. Comfort, comfort or style? Like what comes first when picking furniture?
It depends on the age.
The
To
age,
be
really?
honest, it's brother for the most part it's gonna depend on the age and the piece. What I mean? For the most part, for mattresses, even some of the younger customers, they're uh, they're looking for comfort. What I mean? So, people are looking for a good night's sleep.
Mhm.
Now, as far as living room furniture, and again, all this stuff still is new to me, to be real. Um, it's more about style because that's the stuff that you're gonna mingle, or you're gonna have entertain company with, to where you want it to look good because you want to flex, or you want to, like, be jonesing or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think style comes into play in common entertaining areas, and I think comfort, is more, as far as, bedroom, family room. And then I guess even comfort comes into play with some of the sofa pieces too, because people want to, enjoy their family in comfort too. So I mean, I guess it all depends. But I guess, the best is, when you can get both. When people
Yeah.
can get style
Comfort
and
and
comfort at
style.
the same time. But I tell people all the time, even with picking mattresses, they try to ask me to consult them and tell them, like, uh, what mattress should they get. And my answer is like, whichever one you want. You know what I mean? Like, it don't matter what I want, don't matter
Yeah.
how I feel, irregardless of what information I might have about mattresses. What matters is what works for you. You know what I mean? Like, that's always been my thing.
So yeah, man, there y'all have it, man. Coach E Essentials. Y'all tap in Facebook, Instagram, the website as well. Yada TV. We out.
You already know it's Yada.tv.